Hello, everybody. This is Victor here from Trend Following Trading for Beginners, and here's my weekly update on my sample trading portfolio coming up next. Hello, guys. Welcome back for another week of my episode. This week rather quiet from the market side point of view. Basically, Monday there was a bank holiday, basically Labor Day in America. So when American actually go on a holiday in the stock market, the rest of the world trading seems to be somehow subdued. It's quite slow. And suddenly Tuesday when Dow Jones comes back and it's down about 600 odd points. And basically a lot of things going on with Tesla and Apple, and some funny news saying SoftBank in Japan have apparently bet big on the uptrend in U.S. stock market and bought a lot of calls. I think 30 billions or something, and then the mini that's based on Tesla and Apple, and then somehow they have already sold about 20 billions or something worth of calls, and then make a lot of money out of Tesla and Apple, and they still got about 10 billion left, so still in the market, but the amount of money have already taken off table, so to speak, and people have been speculating this might be the cause of the recent volatility in Nasdaq, making it going down. So who knows? But then from my point of view, as far as I'm concerned, always after the fact, then we will find out. During the news, during the time when things happening, no one really knows what's actually going on, and everybody just guess and second guess until then. Sometime later, then you find out it's a combination of other things. Who knows what's happened? But it probably contribute a little bit down to that because of the SoftBank activity. Oil prices seems to have gone down a bit, and that's what I said last week already. So it just continue. Gold seems to be having a bit of range-bound activity, which I say previously as well. Won't go past much above 1950 and won't go down below 1900. So just this $50, but just going round and round. It's forming a triangle that with a decreasing height, but still won't break the 1900, 1920 area. So just a little bit of coil and see which way it breaks. I mean, the chart formation is most likely going to go down, but my trend following 280-hour system already said gold is going down anyway. It's a sell. We see when it will make a big break, but as far as trend following concerned, it just still short-term wise still down. Overall, and then you have of course, the dollar index seems to try to recover, and it's failing. Won't go past about 93. So don't know what's happening here as well. And then of course Thursday and Friday, Wednesday as well, the market just up and down a bit. I think that what worthwhile mentioning over the week is, I say last week as well already, the closer we go closer to the U.S. Election, the more volatile the market will be. I mean, at the moment, I think Thursday, American government said they're revoking 1,000 Chinese student visas. Say those students are not really studying, or they only go to America to steal things, or to basically learn about American technology and then share with the military in China or with the Chinese government or something, or through some link anyway. Something that just a bit silly as well. Those Chinese students always been there, so always most likely been fed it, when you get a visa and stuff. And now suddenly you say 1,000 of them are not good enough, don't come over. But as far as I'm concerned, that's more like a show. I'm not sure how many Chinese students actually been traveling around the world and go to another country to study, go back to university at the moment. But I mean, judging from where I am, I'm in Bath. It's got a Bath University here in UK. I hardly see much Chinese students. A lot of the rental houses, particularly for students, are still empty with a less sign on it. So I'm not quite sure how many international students are actually running around. So 1,000 of them, don't go to the US, but maybe a lot of them actually go online. So it's actually stopping them learning from online. I think like a couple of months ago, I think some big university in America already moaned about challenging the U.S. government for stopping students coming back from China, that kind of thing. And this only a small token to to go basically stop some of the Chinese students going to America, but it's not going to be that much, and most likely I think because the pandemic is still quite bad in Europe, UK as well, and of course in America. I think a lot of Chinese students probably continue studying over internet kind of thing. So it's not much going to happen on that side. And of course, the other thing worth mentioning is the U.S. ban on cotton from China in Xinjiang province, because there's a belief that those people in forced educational center basically. Basically, the organization, they're just forcing people to do work and then use the labor to exporting stuff to other countries. But that being said, I think with any other countries, with the jails and full of people, and some of them, some of the inmates that is try to re-educate them by the whatever local government will give them jobs, local jobs. Some of them actually do like postcard or some toys or something, or clothes or washing or some sort of thing, and then we sell it back into the country, or maybe some got export. So this is not new. But yeah, of course, China have always have an educational center. This kind of thing, that there might be forced work in there, that kind of stuff. But why is it suddenly being brought up? This has been always one of the main points in China, I believe, and it's been just played and played. So just like go in hand with what the U.S. government is actually doing, bringing up a lot of anti-Chinese stuff out during the election. So as we go closer to election in early November, I believe there'll be a lot more of this kind of news, just causing the market go up and down in time, because traders worry about the relationship go further south between U.S. and China. And so the markets are up and down, but the thing is, when this up and down such going on, gold is not profiting much, so that says a lot. And also the U.S. index, dollar index, is not going down, breaking down like everybody else said. There's some news I think come out yesterday or today saying U.S. government overspent, like deficit this year is like 3 trillion or something. It spent like total of 6 trillion this year so far. Not 2020 is not finished yet, and only taking like 3 trillions in taxes. But so they have a deficit above 3 trillions, mostly because of the paying to people to keep the jobs, that kind of thing, same as most Western countries in the world. But that sort of probably come to an end soon. And so what happened to October when it's coming in about 2 weeks or 3 weeks time? It's October, and then October is a normally quite a volatile time for a lot of stock markets in general. I'm not saying every October we'll have a crash or something, but this time there might be one, because this is closer to election. So always election October seems to be a lot of activities going on, and this time of course is China America relations, trade relations. It's going to be on the play, so to speak, and it probably going to a lot of volatility going around in the market, and what going to happens to people trading, I'm not quite sure. And then also we also with this pandemic, a lot of people, new trader, young trader, going to Robinhood in America and causing the Nasdaq index gone up so much, and effectively just it got nothing much to do. Got government money, just trade and just like make some money, that kind of things. And those people haven't really gone through like perhaps 2007, 2003, those kind of time when a lot of people lose the shirt, so to speak. So we just we'll basically see how bad things might get, and then how quickly those Robinhood people, young trader get killed, so to speak. But overall, the market in general is quite quiet as far as I'm concerned. There's a breakdown, of course, with the Nasdaq last week already, and so is Dow Jones and S&P 500, but nothing much major. Just basically stopping the recent advance since March, and then basically just going a bit side trade. So rather relatively quiet week. So next will be the update of my current portfolio. First of the bat is Apple. So short term is sell just like same as last week. Now medium term is also changed to neutral. Long term is still a buy. So that's for Apple. Amazon, similar to Apple again. Short term is sell similar last week, but this week both medium term and long term are changed to neutral. So basically, the Nasdaq recent hiccup last week or so basically causes a lot of major, stuff, component of it to actually go sideways a bit, and we just have to wait and see what happens. The other thing worth mentioning next is, of course, the USD versus Australian dollar versus USD. For this time now. Short term is a sell, long term, medium term still a buy. For this one, if you actually look at the actual chart itself, this has been like a major buy since March, so to speak, and has been doing pretty well for a lot of people who have basically hang on with their fingertips, because a lot of it is, could be quite volatile at times, but people might say it's trend following. I mean, general question is, can I do trend following with currency pairs, and now these pairs, Australian dollar against US dollar, for this time it really showed you how to actually works it out in trend following. And on what during about March 26th, there was a signal short terms, and then basically only just last Friday there's been basically more or less a signal to say get out. So it's more like 6 months. 5 months, 6 months, that kind of thing of a trend, and then it was moved from what it's about 0.61 to now to 0.72, 0.73, that kind of area. So it's quite a lot, earning about like 20-30%, moving up appreciation that way, and at the same time, when a lot of shares have also recovered as well, but not as the other one a lot more volatile. But you can see it in the Australian dollars against US dollars. I mean, for this trend, this pair has been doing pretty well. So this basically shows the power of trend following, and also shows that you need to be patient if you use trend following for currency pairs. Sometimes trends are very hard to come by. Really depends on which pairs that you caught. But when it comes, you just need to be there. Otherwise, you won't have caught it on time, so to speak. Also, this it tells you a lot about patience. You need to be patient, and then keep track of it. And for this one particular one, if you have bet using pivoting, you also earn a lot of money. But the other thing is, when you're actually in a trend, a long-term trend, you try to get out because you worry about the profits. I think you need to listen to Tom Basil view on silver on one of Michael Cofell's episodes. I think it's one of the earlier one when Michael Cofell, trend following, basically first started interview Tom Basil on one of his episodes. His silver trade. It took him basically quite a while wide. It make him like, he was only trading less than 100 grand in the account, and then the silver trade was actually gone up like $500,000 at a time, as high as $500,000. But then when actually close on, it earned like 250 or 300,000 or something. But that within like 2 or 3 months, that trend was basically quite wild. And similar here to Australian dollar against US dollar this time, it just go up and down, and it can be wild at times. And you just basically have to hang on, so to speak. Don't let the market volatility shake you out, and you just, so long as you follow your system, and sometimes it could take some time, and also this Australian dollar against US dollar trade, when it closes, it's not as wild. It takes a long time, and it's a lot of side trade and slowly going up and up. So it takes a lot of patience, but at least at the end, when the trend changes, there's no such a big sudden reversal like what we see in Nasdaq for the last couple of weeks, come down. And so this basically is quite a good example so how trend following happens. But it's up to you. You want to use trend following for currency pairs or not? It does takes a lot of patience, so to speak. But if you're interested, just go into your charts and just look at Australian dollar against US dollars, and look at since end of March to now, the type of the graph configurations, and just plug in your own equation. The 2 ATR system is quite simple. Basically, anything the price so far above 2 ATR, you just stay on. Below 2 ATR, you just sell. That's as simple as that. A very simple system for trend following, and it can capture quite a bit of money. Next is Brent crude. Like I said earlier, both Brent crude and WTI US crude oil have sort of changed size last week, and short-term wise is continue to be a sell. Medium term is still neutral. Long term is a sell as well. So this is slowly coming down. Again, it's similar to US dollar, Australian dollar against US dollar. So end of March, there's like a slow movement going up. And up and touches, and I think broke above the 200 days moving average, but slowly, it's just very slowly the movement just dies out, and then now it has problem continue to stay above 200-day moving average, and now we've sort of gone below that. So again, this one need to trade with patience, but as far as I'm concerned, 40 marks, I said before, is around right. That's like just before the pandemic. People start to come back out again, so to speak, from the home. Work is relatively affected. Well, a lot of people trade international trade issues, mostly between China and US, and so the use of petrol is not going to be a lot, because a lot of people also at home are staying home, working from home, not traveling a lot as well, and worry about the coronavirus being spread around, that kind of thing. But I think 40 marks is about right, and there might be some dips, going back down a bit again. But I think slowly, it's going to be find its equilibrium now. And we just have to wait and see how it goes. But for the time being, both Brent crude and WTI crude is a sell short term. Next is DAX. DAX basically is still buy. Short term, medium term is neutral, long term is still buy. Dow Jones from last week, basically short term is a sell, medium term now changed to neutral, long term is still a buy. FTSE 100 in UK, this one short term is changed to buy though. And short term change to buy, medium term, long term is still a sell. Gold, like I said earlier, short term is a sell, medium is neutral at the moment, long term is still a buy. So nothing much happens apart from that for triangle formation. So it seems to stop between 1950 and 1900. So just have to watch, see which way the wind blows, so to speak. The other thing I want to say about gold is there might be a flag, so to speak, a triangle formations happening. However, as far as trend following goes, you should not double guess or use this flag as a confirmation that it's definitely going to break below 1900. Don't get sucked into that. So got to remember, let the market tell you what to do. Use the end of day data, plug in your own equation, and then depends on what the outcome of that equation become your judgment to buy, to sell, or to on hold or stand aside, that kind of thing. Don't try to double guess. This is a golden nugget for you guys. I basically lost a lot of money by double guessing. Sometimes I guess it right, I feel like I'm Superman. A lot of time though, I lost, and I basically lose out a lot. So this one, if you guess continuously, you don't trust your system and keep on just going our way around, might as well don't have a system. And the other thing is, if you guess and use chart is just probabilities. Not necessarily going up and down in the way that the chart always tell you. So you might as well just use a more systematic way. This is more my cup of tea, using a systematic way than losing money by guessing, so to speak. So make sure you don't guess and just wait for your system to tell you what to do next. Next is Hang Seng Index in Hong Kong. Short term this week have changed to sell now. Medium term is neutral. Long term is also sell. So if you look at the Hang Seng Index, last month or two, it's been slowly forming a triangle as well. But this one is basically, I think it can go both ways. It seems to have shown little tail going down at the moment, but it's not moving down quickly. But it does seems to have show from trend following way when you're looking at it. Short term is definitely a sell, and it might just continue to show down. So just watch out. Next is Nasdaq. It sells short term, medium term is a buy, long term is a neutral. Like I said last week or so, things have moved quite drastically from the March low and then come up to to a recent high. It seems to be, I say before, when a big company start to split itself out at the somehow it's so at the top of the market for this case. So in this instance, it's Apple and Tesla. After the split, basically Nasdaq basically just sort of fall down. Now the SoftBank thing, I'm not sure it would actually contribute, probably most likely, but would it be that much? Like Tesla, when actually I think it was like after the split, it's like $500. I mean, 2,500 marks or something before the split. And after the split, it become like 400, 450. And then now suddenly dropped down to like 320, 3 something, or 350 area. So it's quite a big jump, kept down like 20% if you look at it that way. So so cost of Nasdaq, of course, going down as well, but just have to wait and see what's happening next. Nikkei 225 in Japan. This is the rare one that short term is a buy, medium term is neutral, long term is a buy. This one a bit sideways trade, but it's much better than the European as well as America or the Chinese Hong Kong index. Is still making hay, so it's slowly creeping up slowly. It's making money, so just stay on that one. Next is silver, just like this gold brother. Short term is a sell, medium long term is still a buy from that one. A bit volatile, but not as smart yet, not as bad as gold. Next is USD against Chinese yuan. Basically sell across the board. Short term, medium term, long term still sells. That means the Chinese yuan is strengthening against US dollars. There's talks after, I think they said the Chinese going to sell some more of US Treasury, and Chinese has always been pretty well timed when they actually buy and sell the U.S. Treasury. There's also of course, the trade relations between the two countries could also be used as an excuse. But from putting my Chinese hat on, being Hong Kong Chinese myself, I think the Chinese government are very subtle when they actually buy and sell U.S. dollars, Treasury bond. They need it. And they always have a good track record of when they buy and when they sell. It's very much like a business for them. They actually basically, I think that signal is basically saying the US dollar may be overvalued at the moment. That's why they sort of like sell them down and just basically get a bit more money on that. We just have to see how it goes. Next is US dollar against Japanese yen. Short term is a buy, medium term, long term is a sell. Not much movement here, it's just about more sideways move on US dollar against Japanese yen. Next is British pound against Japanese yen and British pounds against US dollar. So first, for British pound against Japanese yen, short term is a sell, medium term is neutral, long term is a sell. For British pound against US dollar, short term is also a sell, medium, long term is neutral. So for the last week or two, basically last week, basically just like halting. The trend is moving on the sideway, and obviously the short term is going to sell now. The spat between UK and Europe, try to have a no trade deal, UK exit from the European zone, causes it a bit jittery, and I just have to wait and see how it goes. But I think both, at the end of the day, this is just my guess. I think British are very good at politics. I think at the end of the day is they might threaten to walk away, but at the end of the day, I think it's in both countries, Eurozone as well as UK interest to have some sort of deal, rather than going back to World Trade Organization's rules, which is a bit more less loose, less appropriate, so to speak, for both countries. So just see how it goes. I think just a lot of politics going on at the moment. Arm bending, that kind of thing. Next is Bitcoin against Bitcoin. Short term is sell, medium long term is neutral. No different from last week. Bitcoin to me, as far as I'm concerned, is a bit of a disappointment. It's not going anywhere once it's broken above the 10,000 mark. Next is TLT, basically the iShares 20 Plus ETF. Short term is a buy now, same as last week, and medium neutral. Long term is also neutral as well. Not much happening over here. It's just basically when the mini index is down, people is just going back to buying more treasury bonds. Next, last but not least, is Tesla. So, like same as last week, short term is a sell, medium term and long term is still a buy. So, like I said earlier, it seems to have lost 10, 15 to 20% since it split, and I personally think Tesla is a great company, but yes, I do feel it's a bit overvalued. But what I feel and what the market do is totally different things. So it's only just sort of the market wakes up and say it might be a bit more overvalue and then going to sell in short term. But who knows what's going to happen next? But this is a great company. I wouldn't be surprised actually break up into different things. One for the IT department, especially the self-drive thing. I'm sure can be used for a lot of other stuff as well. Then the actual car itself, we just have to wait and see. Basically, this is the end of my update for this week, and I speak to you next week. Bye for now. Happy trading.